Hello, my name is Jill Kelly. I lead Assembly, and we are here from Possible 2026 at the Assembly Content Cabana. I am thrilled to be joined by Andy Valencia of Google, our agency partner, and it's been such a fantastic relationship that we've had over the years, but I think we've really stepped it up, I would say, in the past year. So first, welcome, Andy. I look to you, Andy, as kind of you see so many different kinds of relationships with different agency partners. What makes the relationship between Google and Assembly unique or different?
Yeah, first and foremost, Jill, thank you for having us here. Thanks for hosting us another year at the Content Cabana. It's always great to be here with Assembly. And I do love your question because you said it very well. We've been working with Assembly for many years. We have a really, really strong relationship, but this past year in particular, we've really set the tone for the partnership. And as you've alluded to, we see the partnership across a lot of our agencies, how it evolves over the years. And strictly speaking, a lot of the conversations are focused on media and media activation and media growth. Whereas what we've seen with Assembly is that we really leaned into this embedded partnership model where it's not about the media activation, it's about the co-build. In simple terms, we're not asking how to use Google solutions, we're asking how we can build on top of Google solutions to provide unique value for clients. And I really think Assembly steps up to the game, not only does that, but over-delivers. This past year, we've been working on a lot of integrations for Stage, working on MMM models with Meridian, working on Vertex AI, and from our vantage point, it's great to see the integration of these solutions because we're no longer operating in disparate technology models or disparate stacks. It's a vertically integrated stack where you guys are using client data, Google, other parties' data to make informed decisions, not only about media, but it's media and broader business decisions. As a partner, that's what we ultimately want to see, not only for our agency partners, but ultimately for the clients as well. So we're thrilled to have that.
Well, and it really builds on the Assembly ethos, which is about building. So it's not just about taking, adopting, but how do we make things better. You can't have a conversation in this context without talking about two letters, AI. And it's shifting and changing and morphing so quickly. It's one of the kind of power moments where AI is really impacting everything, everywhere, and all at once. In the last even 6 months, what are you seeing that is different today relative to back in September of last year?
Yeah, I mean, I love the framing of this question because I remember even sitting a year back here talking about AI, the AI disruption and the evolution. And thinking about even the last 6 months, the thing we're noticing as partners that those goalposts are moving so fast. We're talking, months to weeks.
Yeah.
But I would say over the last 6 month period, what we're seeing, and again, I always want to kind of fast forward it a bit more as well. 6 months ago, it was around efficiency. How can we automate some mundane tasks, things like writing ad copy, potentially stabilizing them? What we're seeing now is the integration of automation across the board. So it's not only how are we automating ad copywriting or workflows, it's how are we auditing our clients? How are we potentially optimizing budgets across channel? But more importantly, with leaning into client data, going even further up funnel and helping on some of these client decisions. But for me, what's really interesting is thinking about moving forward, right? Where is AI going to take us the next 6 months to a year? If you and I are sitting here next year having this conversation, where I see that is that honeymoon stage of AI optimization potentially weaning off, not fully going away because optimization will always take place, but I do see that evolving into value delivery. So rather than squeezing out the operability of efficiencies with AI, it's what else are we doing? How are we optimizing our business to make more informed decisions with AI that is creating net new value for the agency, for the clients themselves, and then it becomes a top-line revenue growth play, which I'm very excited to see.
I think just the context of AI has evolved, right? Mm-hmm. So what was perceived, you would hear the word efficiency, and now it's in the context of growth and real kind of business driving, revenue related. Search, as a result, is also shifting in a major way. The blue links no longer in its prominence. Rankings looks very different in the contemporary canvas of LLMs. What do you believe fundamentally is the most misunderstood about what's actually happening in the search landscape?
I love this question. Obviously, Google being very near and dear to search
Yes.
is a topic of severe discussion, but I think the most misunderstood thing about search is that search is disappearing. And I think you captured it essentially well. We're going through the biggest transformation of search in the past 20 years. Search is not disappearing, it's severely evolving. And it's providing an opportunity for brands to evolve with it and evolve quick. Where that misunderstanding stems is, you're right, that old model of links, how are we ranking on the top first page, that model is quickly shifting away. And I have a little analogy to that, right? We're in a library, we are books, that's our traditional model. That book model is now really evolving into a personal concierge. And we're moving away from driving for clicks, driving for top optimization, to really looking around visibility and citation. How are we evolving into these answers? How are we being picked up by these answers? And it's not only about the quality of our search, but it's also the perception of the brand and the tone in which we're being picked up. So I see this as this greatest evolution, a fantastic moment for brands to lean in and lean into partners like Assembly with tools like Search Plus to really figure out where they're visible, where there's opportunities to optimize and work off the back of that.
Yeah, and what I'm really excited about is suddenly, all of a sudden, there's a massive canvas that is that did not exist as an advertising canvas, a message canvas, a sentiment canvas, that it's sitting right in front of us today. And you could even argue 18 months ago that canvas was kind of a thought, but now it's very much dominant. If you had to counsel our brands, our clients, what is the one big new bet you believe in 2026?
I think there's so many bets that we can take, Jill, and it's an interesting topic, just thinking holistically where a brand should put all their eggs. I don't think there's one particular basket, but I think there's a few. We touched a little bit on before, right? AI is rapidly evolving. Optimization is moving to value delivered and growth. And one channel that we're seeing significant growth on, and I think every partner here at Possible has been talking about, is agentification. That's not a new topic. We're seeing it across the board. But with brand visibility, with citations, we need to think about not only how are we showing up in search spheres, but also how are we getting picked up by agents when things evolve, either agent to peer or agent to agent. And I would say that's a natural evolution of a lot of the work that brands are currently doing with GEO, with LLMs, but it's more how are you evolving also in the agent sphere to make sure you're getting picked up.
Yes.
And I think that's a really interesting opportunity for us as partners to work with clients to advise on that. But I would say, it's keeping that element, and maybe reverting a little bit back, keeping that element of automation with AI, but also being super candid around the strategy as an ecosystem and leading into partners to build the architect, build emotions for us to be able to capture that opportunity.
So just one closing question. Sure. Google is very prominent here at Possible. So on the theme of partnerships and partners, what excites you most about being here at Possible?
Beyond AI, of course, you said the big word. It's partners, right? Our ecosystem does not work well if we don't have good partners along the way. And we're eternally grateful for Assembly, for everything y'all do for us, do for the clients. But what excites me the most is having this conversation a year from now and thinking about how quickly the ecosystem and the agencies have evolved, but more importantly, what else are we building and how are clients joining us along the way?
Fantastic. Well, that's a wrap with Andy Valencia. Thank you very much.
Jill, thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.